This week on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Really glad that she's at least sharing a little bit with me now because I want to be there for her. I want to be able to support in every way that I can as a friend. I told you, I'm a girl's girl. I want to
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be recapping the new episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 15, Episode 3. Let's get right into this. Alright, so the episode starts with Bose. So, Bose says that she recently sat down and she came to the realization that, whoa, wait a minute. Almost every single one of the ladies in this group is single. She says they're going through it. So, she is hosting something for the girls. And then they pan to her backyard because she's in her house. And it's a whole group of men. So a few days ago, she had met with Dorit, Kyle, and Erika and asked them for some qualities that they wanted in a man. So Bose heard this and found a bunch of men, some eligible bachelors for the single ladies. I was like, this is crazy, but I'm here for it. So we see the women get ready for this event that they're going to go to Bose's house. Eventually they get there. Erika, Kyle, Dorit, Rachel, and Sutton. It was a crazy coincidence that every single one of them, of the single ladies, wore black. Every one of them, looking like they came from a funeral. Kyle looked good, so did Dorit. They all look good. Then they gather in the living room and they have they talk a little bit, come up with a little plan, give each other a little pep talk, and then they head out to meet the men. Dorit was very confident and she was very nice. But this was interesting. Erika was very nervous and so was Kyle. With Kyle, I kind of expected. They didn't really want to come out, but they do eventually. But Erika was very awkward. She says that Jayne is the performer who doesn't care, but Erika is different. I could believe that. And I mean, a situation like this, it's pretty awkward already. So, So yeah, the ladies begin to talk to the men. So Bose, after everyone gets to intermingle a little bit, Bose says that they're going to do a speed dating type of thing. So she separates the women throughout different parts of the house, and each will have a set time to talk to one guy at a time, and then they'll rotate until everyone's met everyone. So it's a little hard to recap every single one because it's so many interactions and they were showing them simultaneously. But what I did think was kind of funny was seeing Erika meeting men that happen to be lawyers, or Kyle meeting a guy who's a real estate agent. It's kind of a funny thing right there. The conversations were good, nothing super awkward or horrible, but also I don't think any of these women are going to go home with any of these guys. Yeah, that's not gonna happen here. But I will say it did seem like all the men liked Dorit the most, and I get it, she's attractive, but she was also very feminine and soft, but interesting at the same time. I can totally see why they were all really attracted to her. But yeah, so then after that, eventually the men leave. Erika did get one of the guy's phone number. He was a lawyer and he hands her his business card. But it's funny because once the ladies meet outside again, the guy who Erika got the phone number from, happens to be the guy that Sutton liked. So it's whoa, he gave his number to Erika, but Sutton liked him. So then Erika says, well, you know what, Sutton, in the spirit of being a good friend, this is for you. And she gives Sutton the guy's card, which is very nice. But if I were Sutton, I wouldn't want it, because clearly if he didn't give it to me, it means he didn't like me. He gave it to her. But then Dorit asks Kyle, I want to ask you, honestly, are you actively looking to meet someone? And Kyle says, of course not. And then everyone's like, what do you mean, of course not? And then Kyle's like, well, I mean, Dorit, you're not looking for anyone either. And Dorit says, well, yeah, but you are 3 years in. Kyle says that she does want a life partner. Erika then pulls Dorit inside. She wants to talk to her, and Sutton goes as well. And Erika just wanted to catch up on how the kids are and the whole thing with PK. The kids did end up going to Florida with the grandparents, so that's nice. And then Sutton and Erika tell Dorit to really take care of herself because God forbid PK uses her state of mind against her in the divorce, because this is just the beginning. These things can get really ugly, so they want her to really take care of herself, especially now, the kids are somewhere else, so really, really take care of yourself in these days. Sutton was being very nice, very genuine, which is nice given her and Dorit's relationship the last few seasons. And that's why I said last week that this season has felt like a bit of a restart with a lot of the friendships in the show. So then let's go back outside. So Bose says that, she really wants to be a good friend with Kyle. She's kind of like trying to peel back the onion. And that's why she's always asking these questions. Like, did she like anyone? Is she looking for a one night stand? Kyle says no. And then Kyle asks Bose and Rachel, how many times have you all been in love in your life? Bose says about 3. Rachel says 4. And Kyle says 3 as well. And then Bose asks Kyle, well, have you found love since leaving Mauricio? And Kyle says, yeah, I did, but I'm on my own again, so yeah. Being really awkward as she answers it, but she did answer that. And then Bose asks, well, was it by choice not to be in love anymore? And then Kyle says, well, it's just complicated. It's like, oh, Kyle, you were getting there, but then she said it was too complicated. And Bo says, look, as I told you, I'm a girl's girl, and yeah, I want to be all in your business, but it's not because I want to be in your business, it's because I want to, that's how I want to be a friend, like, be close. Kyle then says, well, why don't you ask what you really want to ask? And Bo's is like, what do I really want to ask? And Kyle says, well, I don't know, I could go Brad, I could go Angelina. And then Bose is like, wait, really? And Kyle says, well, I'm joking, but not joking. Huh? She was like, it's about a connection. She says that she's always been attracted to men. So then Bose is like, well, could you be attracted to a woman? And Kyle says, well, I don't know. So then Rachel says, well, you know what, Kyle, that's okay if you don't know because you were with your husband for so long. And listen, I get people get confused or can be confused or whatever, but Kyle and honesty sometimes just don't go together. If she were more honest and more transparent, I actually think she'd probably have a lot of support. But she isn't fully. But that was that. That was that part of the episode, which I enjoyed. I thought it was interesting. So then it's a new day, and we see a scene with Amanda in her home with her fiance and the kids. She's from Oklahoma, just like Taylor Armstrong. And she says that she comes from very humble beginnings. She's been with her fiance for 5 years. She teaches a course on manifesting and finance and life coaching and all that. And she looks very happy. So, we're getting to know her little by little. I personally like her so far. I think that she's not boring. So that's a good thing. And I think that she could definitely shake things in this franchise, which is what we need. She's a little weird, but like in a way that like I want to watch. So yeah. Then moving to the next scene, Sutton goes to Rachel's house. They know each other socially, like they've seen each other at parties and things like that, but they've never really been friends, so they're getting to know each other as well. And they talk about Bose's house and the guys, and then Rachel asks Sutton if she would ever get married again. Sutton shares with Rachel that, her husband recently got an annulment of their marriage from the church. So their marriage is like off the records from the Catholic Church. And Sutton is telling Rachel that the day that she got the letter, it said to Sutton Brown, which is her maiden name. And, she's thinking about maybe changing that officially to Brown. And then Rachel's like, well, I dropped my married last name the day I left. Like, unstrack yourself. And Sutton says, I know, but like, that was like the last little thread that I had. And then Sutton shares something very, very personal in her confessional, saying that she honestly thought that if she ever wanted to get back with him, with her ex-husband, she could at any time. But with this annulment, she realized that he isn't going to ever take her back. They're never going to get back together. He has moved on. And that's sad. That's real, but that was sad. But yeah, that was very honest. And I've said this before. I love the Real Housewives and I love the drama and the feuds. But one of the things that I really think makes Housewives really special is these personal storylines. And that's why that's one of the reasons why Orange County like used to be one of my favorites. Like back in the day, it had a lot of personal storylines. Not anymore, but But yeah, it's always been interesting to see these storylines of relationships with whether it be a significant other, with siblings, with parents, with children, and yeah, and again, real storyline, real personal, not ones that are made up like a lot of the shows seem to be doing nowadays. But that's why I think that this season of Beverly Hills does feel like that, like it's real authentic storylines. And I think that's why I'm liking this season, because sure, there hasn't been any like major drama or falling out or feuds, but I enjoy it. So then moving along, Kyle takes her daughter Alexia to a flower shop because she's getting married and they're doing the wedding planning. And she takes a look at the flowers. Alexia has a very different style than Kyle's. It seemed like Kyle did not really like what Alexia was picking out, but it is her wedding. Do you guys remember when Pandora was having her wedding in season 1 and Lisa Vanderpump? We got to see Lisa helping her as well. Alexia says that Kyle and Mauricio will walk her down the aisle, her mom and dad. It's definitely hard for Kyle to know that her daughter's getting married and they're not together anymore. And then this was interesting. Kyle, just like Sutton, also had a very emotional confessional moment in which she says that she hopes her daughter and the guy that she's marrying have a long, happy marriage. She says, I hope they can always trust each other. I hope neither one of them ever hurts one another. And I hope that he always looks at Alexia the same way he looks at her today. And she was in tears, so I think it was very clear that she was speaking from experience. And again, if Kyle were honest, I think she could connect with so many more people. All right, then moving along to the last scene of the episode, Bose and Amanda meet up for lunch. Amanda's telling Bose more about herself. She started as a therapist and a life coach. She then became a business coach. She started to grow a nice audience, and that's when she created these online courses to help people with their lives, I guess. She also teaches a lot about money and finance and how to incorporate that into your life. And she has a book called Rich as F, which she says is a bestseller. So she's just going off, and Bose did not seem amused. I'll tell you that. She wasn't rude or anything, obviously, but she was just like, okay. It was hilarious. So then Dorit joins them, and Amanda's like, hey, like, how are you? You've been on my mind since I last saw you. I've been thinking about you, praying about you. And Dorit really appreciated that. Matter of fact, Dorit said that she didn't know what to make of Amanda yet, but hearing her say that really makes her look at her in a good way. She likes her, which, obviously. Dorit begins to tell them about her marriage that has ended. So she's explaining to them that when she and PK first got married, he had just lost his businesses after that 2008 crash. He was essentially broke, starting from scratch. So when they got married, they didn't have a prenup because it's not like he had a lot of things anyway. So while they were married, he always handled the finances. They've split now, and because there was never any agreement, they never had an agreement when they separated either with the finances. So she just keeps finding out things day by day, like things that he will not pay for anymore. When they initially separated, he told her that the finances wouldn't change. A month later, he said that was changing. And then she told him, well, I thought you said that things weren't changing. And he said, oh, well, I said that would only last a month. So it's tough. So Amanda is asking some important questions, like, are there retirement accounts? Are there investments? Things like that. And Dorit says that she is in a place of unknown. Dorit just doesn't know, which is not good. Bose shares a little bit about how, she had to carry all those finances once her husband passed away, which, that was pretty tough. And Dorit also says that one of the things that she also just found out is that a lot of things like the house are in her name. So let's say that PK stops paying the mortgage or it gets foreclosed or whatever, that will ultimately end up on Dorit's name, all those bad things, so it's tough. So Bose asks Amanda, what should Dorit do to protect herself? And Amanda goes on life coach mode. She's like, she tells you guys, you have to watch this. She turns to Dorit and she's like, oh yes, like, what are you creating? Are you a provider? If so, what type of provider do you want to be? You have to know who you will be, what your mind has to be. It has to be in the right place to get to the next goal. Da 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 da. And then in Bose's confessional, she was like, what the hell? I was looking for her to give Dorit some simple advice, like 1+1 = 2. Not what type of provider do you want to be? This is not financial advice. I'm telling y'all, I lost it at that. Amanda was so passionate, and y'all should have just seen Bolt's face. She was just like, huh? Like, what is she talking about? But you guys, again, I truly, truly enjoyed the episode. Let me know what y'all thoughts were about it. And what are y'all thinking about the season so far? Again, we're just 3 episodes in, but I'm liking it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.